How many of you go to church? How many of you feel like you're a believer, right? So when they say that faith the size of a mustard seed, I was at that point. I had just enough faith to order that product. Left. I said, there's got to be something out there natural that will help Janet and not on the pharmaceutical side that's destroying her insides. So when we ordered that product in, I've had neuropathy in my feet for 10 years. Do you know anybody suffer from neuropathy today? Yes, okay. So my neuropathy has been treated by multiple doctors and medications. I did not try this product for myself. I tried it as a family circle. All three of us tried this to support Janet with her lupus. I did not know that this was going to do anything in my body. I wasn't targeting anything in my body, but the first full day we dosed, that night I sat up in bed and I said, Janet, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm not hurting in my neuropathy. I've never said that in 10 years. For once in 10 years, I'm not hurting in my neuropathy. I said, but maybe it's a coincidence. We'll see about the next day. Next day, no pain. Since that day of dosing on the first day, my neuropathy has been gone. And that's my story of how this was introduced to me. What I'm going to tell you is in the third day of dosing, my wife has had nausea for 6 years. If you've never seen anybody throw up every day of their life for 6 years, it's very sad and it's very tough on that person. That third day, her nausea stopped. And not one day since then has she been nauseated any day, not even any episode in a day. To this day, she's not had nausea. That is so much of a miracle. I can't tell you how big that was for us. On the fourth day, it was consecutive days, miracle after miracle after miracle. It's blowing my mind. On the fourth day, she's been suffering from lupus headaches daily. Does anybody have migraines? Know anybody that has migraines? Migraines were a regular occurrence for her. As a matter of fact, my daughter had them. It was hereditary, I guess. My daughter had them. She had pierced her cartilage in her ear, the Dayth or Doth piercing. Anybody heard of that? Right, a cartilage piercing you put right here to try and control that nerve for migraines. It didn't kill the migraines, but it helped her with the migraines. When she got on the suit, no more migraines, both of them, no more migraines. And I'm gonna tell you, on the fifth day, her lupus fever subsided. She had had lupus daily fevers. Anybody that has lupus usually has a daily fever that goes along with it every day, reoccurring. Not one day since that day has she ran a fever. That's another miracle. On day 7, fast forward a couple of days to day 7, her inflammation that she had had for years subsided. I'm gonna tell you something. She was taking pictures of her legs down through her ankles into her feet, where she could not wear her shoes for years. She had to wear flip-flops. Anybody ever seen anybody like that? Just the ankles so swollen you couldn't put shoes on? She was crying, taking pictures, and sending me pictures when I was out running errands. Look at this. You can see the veins in my ankles bursting. Literally the forms of my ankles and my feet as she's sliding her feet down into her shoes. You talk about a moment, a special moment. So we had experienced so many things in the first 7 days. I said, this is truly a godsend for us. This is truly a godsend. I'm a believer in this product. I can't explain what's in this or how it works. All I know is this is the first time. We were desperate. This was the first product, any product that's ever worked in her body. So I got on the phone with Darren Jr. Again, I said, how do I order 25, 50 bottles of this at a time so I can not run out of this product? He said, I can't justify just sending you this product without introducing you to the whole product line of plant medicine. The developer of this also ran a plant medicine product line that went with it to work synergistically with the suit. And I'm going to explain in PowerPoint, educate in the health talk today on what each one of these plant medicine products have done for Janet and our family since we started on these products. But just know this was truly a godsend for someone in a need of a miracle when we were praying. And I'm saying this in sincerity. I probably would not have Janet today on this day in November had I not ran into this product, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. How many know someone right now that's suffering? In fact, you might know someone that's dying from an autoimmune disease, right? Anybody, chronic pain, anything of the nature of disease or disorder. Pay attention to this information today. You could literally be the godsend. You could literally be the one that brings something that is a miracle in that person's life. You could be their hero, in fact. So I'm gonna go through this presentation and just know that this is one of the same presentations that I got shown the first time. It's a health talk, so I'm gonna kind of educate on the information. In the past 2 decades, can everybody see the screen okay? In the past 2 decades, diabetes has nearly tripled, heart disease, asthma, and cancer has nearly doubled. Autism has increased by 600%. How many of you will agree on this? Yes, it's facts. Common knowledge. And this right here, I've been involved in this business, teaching and educating on this since that day that we tried, first day we tried the products. And I've learned that there's so many people that have kids with autism. They're autistic. And in fact, I had a health talk not too long ago where a lady, a teacher, sat in my health talk and she raised her hand and shared her story. She said, I teach a class of 32 kids. In this class, there's 14 of my kids that are autistic. She said, if we don't do something, that number's going to increase and grow. We will look at serious numbers and devastation down the road. So I've also talked with analysts. Analysts have said before that if we don't do something with this, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see it grow to such a rate that we're in danger of having 1 out of every 2 kids born with some form of autism. So we got to stop this. All right? Mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, paranoia, bipolar, schizophrenia, they're all on the rise. How many will agree with that? Right? You know anybody suffering from depression? Isn't that terrible? My wife was in such a state of depression, she felt like she was about to leave this world, so we had her on treatment for the depression, making sure she wasn't going to overdose on her own pharmaceutical narcotics. And this was a big deal for us because we had to get rid of that. It changed her whole personality. She got her life back when we started on the natural products. Digestive disorders such as celiac disease, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut syndrome, ulcerative colitis. Anybody know anyone suffering from any of these? All right, it's pretty much common knowledge everywhere. Time magazine is called chronic inflammation, the secret killer. It destabilizes the cholesterol deposits in the coronary arteries, leading to potential heart attacks and even strokes. It chews up the nerve cells in the brains of Alzheimer's victims. Anybody know anyone suffering from inflammation? You know, this is something that leads to other disorders and can cause death. It has been predicted that today's generation of kids may not outlive their parents. Just the fact that that's in there is so sad. Why is that? Why is this happening? You might be asking that question. What's happening? After World War II, we started eating fast foods. We eat fast food today. We're all guilty. It's okay to raise your hand, right? Canned foods and processed foods. Anybody eat one of the three? Right? Think about this. It's just eye-opener. You know, we all eat out. We buy canned foods at the grocery stores. You know, you buy the meat at the meat department. I know this because I used to be a skilled meat cutter. Years ago, for 10 years of cutting meat. So went from skilled meat cutter to hanging beef days. How many remember that? Hanging carcass beef. And then it went into pre-pack, where you became a skilled stocker. Right? So they were packaging meat in a package plant. You were getting it in a little cryo bag. You peel back the top layer, right? And it's got chemicals in it to carry the shelf life of the meat. How many know what I'm talking about? So a lot of things are being processed. Mid-1990s, we started genetically modifying our foods. How many know when you shop in the produce stand at the grocery store, you're seeing the organic section, that's the natural organic section, then beside it you might see the stack of tomatoes or apples or whatever, they're beautiful, right? That glowing fruit, you don't know where that's been, what it's been done like, right? You've been hearing about people genetically modifying, pumping chemicals into the fruits and vegetables, and it's going into our systems. Do you know that there's so many chemicals and synthetics out there in our foods that we're eating and intaking that we don't know what we're eating today? You know, we're just trusting the producers of it that it's going to be all right to ingest it. Soil has been depleted. One would have to eat 8 oranges today to derive the same amount of vitamin A our grandparents got from 1 orange. Think about that. That's so sad. You know, if you convert it to apples, it's 20 to 1. That's a fact. More than 95% of all vitamin supplements sold today fall in the synthetic category. That's an eye-opener right there. That means what we're putting in our system has synthetics in it. This is a good one. Vitamins can be labeled natural if they contain at least 10% of the natural form of the vitamin. How many buy natural products? Right? think we do. On the label, as long as it's 10% of the natural form, they can get away with mislabeling it and calling it natural. To me, that's false advertisement, but hey, that's okay as far as they're concerned. This is just facts. Top health concerns, top 1 through 6, we have heart disease. Anybody know anyone suffering from heart disease? It's everywhere, even little kids. Cancer. You know, I ran into a child the other day, he had cancer. That's sad. We gotta put a stop to what's happening. Osteoporosis, my wife suffered from that for years. Depression, my wife. Autoimmune, my wife. Diabetes, anybody know anybody suffering from diabetes? Think about it, even kids. This is facts, folks. We gotta wake up and see what's going on so we can stop it. So we're gonna talk about our health products. And we got a variety today. I'm gonna go through this and kind of give you some common knowledge. Everybody got something to write on if you need more notes, notepad, paper? Okay. So we're gonna go over our multivitamin. I know for the most part in here, we're all at the age where we look at vitamins. Does anybody take a multivitamin? Okay, make sure we're in the right group here. So we're looking for health, better health. You take multivitamins. You know, inside multivitamins, most of the time, if you read the label on the back, if it says vitamin C, by, with, or from absorbent acid, you're taking in synthetics. So I realized when I was taking my multivitamins, I had them lined up. I had a whole plethora of medication bottles of, let me just say, multivitamins. And on the back, I was reading there's synthetics in it. I didn't even realize that until I got introduced to these products, because not every vitamin has a natural vitamin. It's not true natural vitamin. So this is whole organic, just as if you're eating raw fruits and vegetables right out of the ground, as if you're growing it right in your backyard, into your system. You're putting it into your system, no synthetics. So it's whole organic multivitamin, and the vitamin C comes from acerola cherry. So it's a rich vitamin C, and also there's an ingredient in here that targets people that have ADD and ADHD. Anybody suffer from that or have someone that does in their family? Also, there's an ingredient here that targets fibromyalgia. My wife started taking this and started seeing a significant difference on fibromyalgia. As a matter of fact, I have a friend in Fort Wentworth, Georgia. He is retired military. He goes to the VA doctor and being treated for fibromyalgia. He has one of the worst cases the VA has ever seen with fibromyalgia. And he said, Sonny, when I started taking the Soothe product, it helped with my fibromyalgia flare, but it did not take the pain and flare completely away. It just took a little bit longer for this. When I paired it with this to work synergistically like I learned about, it started killing the flare of fibromyalgia. My doctors were astonished and said, this is better. I've seen better result with this than what we're prescribing on pharmaceutical meds. He started taking this product, and he, to this day, has not had a flare-up on fibromyalgia since he started on the product. It started out mild and then went away with the flare-up. I'm telling you, this has been amazing for people with fibromyalgia. So anybody that has issue with that, or ADD, ADHD, this is a very good product. Also, anybody looking for an increase of their rich vitamins, they can take this product. It's tremendous. I love it. It's called Balance. Then there's Life. How many feel like you're bloated when you eat? Have a bloated feeling? Anybody with indigestion? Acid reflux? Am I talking to anybody? I feel like I'm in church. Can I get a witness, all right?
Right.
So I have been taking the purple pill since I was 17 years old, Nexium. I've been on Prilosec. When I'd eat, I'd upchuck chunks of food. How many of you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Had the burning acid come up my throat and be spitting up acid.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not been able to eliminate my acid flare. And my wife has had acid reflux about the same length of time. She's nearly 20 years. My daughter was born 3.8 pounds as a preemie. Her stomach was undeveloped. Dr. Casillo, her pediatrician in Savannah, said Anna would always have to take for the rest of her life 4 pills a day for control of her acid reflux. So we had accepted that. So all the 17 years we've had her, every day she's taken 4 pills for acid reflux. I've taken Nexium, Janet's taken Prilosec. So between us, we were eat up with acid reflux. Janet also had diarrhea for 3 years. Nobody had taken her to Emory University in Atlanta just to get some help. Nobody could treat her. She was taking 90 pills a month for her nausea, She was taking multiple treatments for her colitis with her diarrhea, so she was going both ends, and the acid was tearing her up. So she was literally getting at both ends. And when we say this would give her her life back and gave us our life back, it's called life, it was pretty accurate when we stated that. You see, this is a digestive enzyme. In this digestive enzyme, there's an enzyme that will take care of your processing of your food. So our problem is we heat up our food, eat cooked food to 113 degrees or hotter. Yes or yes, right? We all cook our food. So when we cook that food, we're cooking the live enzymes. This is what I learned about this. We cook the live enzymes right out of the food. So they're not going in our system and processing our food properly. So what's happening, as soon as we eat, some of us belch and form a belch. Some of us have the acid reflux. Some of us have indigestion and bloatedness. I mean, I'm talking on
Yes.
some of your experiences, right? And then the acid builds up in your system. You have either, it goes two forms, two different ways. It'll either go acid reflux or it'll go uric acid. In the uric acid, you got to worry about gout and kidney stones. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So I've had the gout for years, over 10 years of gout. Suffered the flare-ups. I was on allopurinol every single day as a preventative so my gout wouldn't bother me. I still had the flares. So when I say we took this product and it changed everything, it has changed everything. So I'm just going to do a demo. I do it in every health talk. Who is willing to come up here and hear and help me by demoing a product? As a guest. Don't be shy.
Sam.
I got one that's open.